Let's do that again. Howdy, folks. This is Manic Mark coming to you from the bunker system, located underneath the Art Villa, found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. Oh yeah. Let's start it this way, okay? Hello, I'm Manic Mark, and this is a Manic Mark moment in history. History. Here we are in history. We're going to use the Wayback Machine. This is the Wayback Machine. When I turn this on, it takes us back into history. So I can do paintings. So when I'm doing a painting and I want to go back in history, I turn on the Wayback Machine and it transports me mentally back into history. Massive painting, massive cardboard painting, 2-layer thick cardboard, and it's historical. It has historical significance. And what motivated me to do this was it was Columbus Day yesterday, was it not? Holiday? I think it was Columbus Day. The only reason I know it's a holiday is I go out of the bunker system, I go to the mailbox, and there's no mail. So I know something's wrong. Is it a holiday or something today? Talking about history today, and since yesterday was Columbus Day, and this is the day after Columbus Day, I decided to do a painting on the Knights Templar. That's right. And if you're, in high school and you need to do a report, I'm going to give you the history of the Knights Templars. It's sort of their secret history because there's been some theories advanced and there's been some things found out about them recently. And I've done this research and I've compiled all the most up-to-date history of the Knights Templar into this painting. So in fact, you can use this video as research for any papers that you may need to write. Where did the Knights Templars come from? Well, overseas in Europe, I think, somewhere around in there, and then they did stuff there. They went there for the king to look for religious artifacts. Okay, but as they were really good at, because they're knights, they were good at killing people. Okay, so they were killers, but they were also very religious people, so they really believed in God and they believed in killing a lot of people at the same time. So anyway, they went over there with their crosses and armor and with their calculators and slide rules and pencils because they had to keep track of money and stuff like that way back in time. I have no idea. They're looking for artifacts, and what they do is they find alien artifacts in Egypt, one of which was the Holy Grail. They found that was part of what I found in my research. They found the Holy Grail, and they found alien artifacts, which they then brought back with them. Well, the king, who's right here, it's his purple head. He was a real character. He was born without arms and with 4 legs and without his lower intestines. He was like really okay with the Knights Templar because he never finished high school and he was able to do much math. He had general math, but he didn't have like algebra, the kind of math you need to do bookkeeping. He was okay with the Knights Templar because they had calculators and were able to keep the kingdom's books, and they held on to all his money. But then he spent a lot of money, and apparently he owed money, and he thought, well, screw the, getting my GED and all that kind of stuff. He just went ahead and set sword-bearing leprechauns to chase the Knights Templar out of the country, in fact, off of the continent. So these magical leprechauns chased all of them, all the Knights Templars, off the continent. And they got in their Knights Templar boats with their alien artifacts and the Holy Grail. So the Holy Grail, where was I? And the Holy Grail and the alien artifacts are on the ship, and they go across the ocean, and they get to the New World. And that would be America. Well, they did that a long time before Columbus. Even the Vikings, apparently, I think that, and how did they know that? Well, this farmer finds the ruined stone. It sits around for a while. People think the farmer's faked the stone. He hasn't faked the stone. There's these ruined symbols on it. Nobody can figure out. And then finally somebody can figure out what the ruined symbols are. And they eventually, really smart scientists interpret it to say, Columbus, "You suck New World dick." But the last letter's broken off. Part of the stone's missing. So that last word, they've never been able to decipher the whole thing. They're thinking maybe Columbus, "You suck New World Dictionary." But it's not for certain. It's probably a mystery that will remain a mystery for quite some time to come. And scientists wonder how they got there. You know, how could these Knights Templars haul this damn rock all the way from these ships, you know, on the ocean all the way up there? They figured they went through a series of rivers and streams or whatever. No, they didn't. When they got there, they unpacked alien technology, which included a giant machine with mechanical legs and with a giant arm on the back. And they used this machine. As you can see, there's a flaming sword. The flaming sword from the Knights Templar is clamped onto the back of the machine, and they use that to cut a path through the woods. So basically, they just go over land in this giant alien machine until they get to the farm, and they bury the ruined thing. Now you're saying, well, this is fantastic. I'm not sure that I should believe you and include this information in my report, which I will be turning in tomorrow. But I'm telling you, it's true, because they found the stone. The stone exists, and you can check that online. So they found the stone, and you know, chopping through the woods. It really didn't work that well. The machine didn't work that well. It's a flaming sword. Every time it rained, it put the flame out on the sword. The thing rusted. Ancient technology doesn't hold up very well in rain. It'd been in Egypt, that's fine, it's dry there, but they got it in the, you know, the jungles of the Midwest, and it rained and it rusted, and the damn flaming sword kept going out. So it was very difficult chopping their way through the forests to get to Minnesota, or wherever the hell it ended up. And so basically you wonder, like, why there's a flaming sword. Well, that's like ancient technology too. It's just anything that you find usually bursts into flame, like, you know, the Ark of, what, the Ark of Covington or something like that. I used to live in Covington, and I didn't know they had an Ark, but apparently they've got an Ark, the Ark of Covington, the Holy Grail. But the Holy Grail just presses the knights to butcher a bunch of people. You know, it doesn't really have anything to do with like the goodness and purity that you're all come accustomed to. It's a cup that demands a lot of blood, you know, because it's alien technology, and they collected DNA and human samples in it, so it was used for, but they, never mind, oh boy. Okay, here's the angel of blood. That's what I'm talking about here. I made this quite apparent that the angel of blood is always hovering over the head Knights Templar guy. So kids, don't forget, you know, the flaming sword of the Knights Templar, slashing through all their enemies to get to the alien artifacts and the Grail, and the French king with no arms, 4 legs, missing, born without lower intestines, sending an army of magical sword-bearing leprechauns to kill most of the Knights Templars and force the rest of them across the ocean to the New World. And again, you're probably asking, well, they buried the stone, that proves that they were there, but how did they know that Columbus was going to show up? Well, alien technology, you think they can't, like, see into the future? Really? You know, use your head. You're in high school, right? Man. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. These green things, like, what the hell are these green things, you're asking? Well, when the Knights Templar come over to the New World, you know, people are always bringing something, like the plague, you know, rats, you know, animals that shouldn't be here, something that's not part of the environment that they visit. And in this case, the Knights Templars bring cabbage with them. So they've started this plague of cabbage. So now there's cabbage growing all over the place, and it's really horrible, and nothing will be done about it until, you know, people from Germany come over and start making, you know, sauerkraut. It's just, they're just going to be in the way. Horses will trip over them, and Indians will hurt themselves. Everything's not perfect when the Knights Templar come over, and where did they go? That's the thing. Where did they go? Well, with alien technology, apparently you can, you know, probably go anywhere you want to, and they probably just shape-shifted, or, you know, phased into another dimension, or maybe there were just 3 or 4 of them, and that damn rusty machine with the flaming sword clamp to the back of it just blew up one day, and that was the end of them. It's hard to tell. Well, I hope you're no more afraid now than when you click the clicky thing, and good luck on your term papers. A+.